So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to demonstrate how you know what your version of Internet Explorer is. And what you do is you find help, which I have is located here. And then I'm going to go about Internet Explorer. And what that does is it just tells you the version that you're using. So you click on it, left click, and I'm showing that I'm using version 8. If you're using version 7, the process I just showed you should be extremely similar. Sometimes you'll also visit a site and it'll pop up a window, and when I say a window, sort of like a window like this, maybe not exact, but it'll give you a message and it'll say, this site is needs you to accept cookies. Do you want to accept cookies from this site? And you could choose yes or no. It's very good to always read those windows carefully. You want to be careful about them, of course. But very often, if you're on a trusted site, such as the Lay Dharma Leadership site, you know its source is trusted. It's okay to say yes in that situation. But I understand how you would want to use caution and maybe click no for some websites. But if they're ones that you trust, and you should really trust them, then you can say okay. If you're in a site that you want to be able to use and it's not functioning, and it's because it can't leave cookies, then maybe if you're not sure about whether you should let it leave cookies on your computer, you should ask for some help with that, determining whether or not that's a trusted site. So I'm just going to click OK because I know I'm using Internet 8. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you about toolbars. I'm actually going to go up to Tools, and I'm going to go to Toolbars. Now your display might be a little different, but the basic concepts are the same. You might find them in some different spots. I have to get a computer that has Windows 7 or Vista and mess around, and so that I'm a little more familiar with that. At school here, we haven't completely switched over yet. And so you can see there's a bunch of bars, and the check marks are the ones that are visible. So my menu bar is there, my command bar is there, my status bar, and then locking toolbars, in other words, keeping them where they are. The status bar is actually a bar that's down here at the very bottom of your screen, and it will show whether something's loading or something like that, and things like that. So if I click on status bar now, uncheck it, now that status bar is gone. So if I go back to Tools, go to Toolbars, now the status bar is unchecked, and that status bar, which is down here, is gone. And some people don't need to see that, don't want to see it, don't care about it. I like to see it for different reasons, because it'll show me what is loading and whether it's actively loading, and it'll also sometimes, if I put my cursor over the top of a link, it will tell me the exact address of that link. And so sometimes that's helpful when I'm trying to figure out, is somebody trying to steer me someplace that I don't want to go. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to check the status bar again, because like I said, I like to have the status bar. It gives me a little bit more information when things are loading. Also, let's go back to toolbars again, and let's get rid of the menu bar. Okay, so now you can see the top has changed. All of a sudden, all those things that were there are no longer there, and you're like, what do I do? Well, you go back to Tools, you go back to Toolbars, and you say, you know what, I want the menu bar. And there I have the menu, which is File, Edit, View, Favorites. And it's very helpful to have those displaying, but not everybody wants them displaying all the time. It's always good it's not a bad idea to leave those always displaying. And then I'm going to go to Command Bar and see what happens. Alright, so the Command Bar got rid of all those things that I had here. I'm going to go to View, and a View has a toolbar, and I can put that back on if I want. So if I click Command Bar here, boom, I've got all my stuff here that I might want to use. Printers, good. This takes you right to your home page. You can even put other special sites underneath this in this pull down to add more pages to put in. But I'm going to do something now, and I'm actually going to take my toolbars and I'm going to get rid of them. And you're going to say, why am I doing that? Well, if they're not there, I want to show you how you can put it back there. Because otherwise, like, there's no tools here, and there's no tools here. So what do? You're like, where is it now, you know? If you go up here and you right-click, it says Restore, Minimize. These are actually the same choices that you kind of get right here. So that's not helpful. If I go here, it just shows me what I'm doing. In other words, my history. So that's not helpful to me. And there's my favorites. But that's not that. That's related to sites that I like to go to and things like that. So how do I get back and get those things back here now that they're gone? Well, you put your cursor over the main part of the bar. Like I said, think of it like a TV set. And this is like the frame around your screen. And this is like the TV show, and every time you change a channel, this changes. So here's this part of the bar. I'm going to right click on it, and it actually gives me selections. What do I want? So I'm going to say, okay, give me a command bar. There it is. Now I have those things in there. I'm also going to go right click on there, and I'm going to say I want a menu bar too. And now I have all those things back to be used.